It tricked its own fans, embarrassed Nike, and might be one of the biggest sneaker scams the world has ever seen. What was marketed as a family dream, as a chance to support a family fighting the system of large corporations, soon became the cautionary tale of greed, ego, and lawsuits. And Nike executive George Raveling called the brand the worst thing to happen to basketball in over 100 years. Behind the memes, the flashy cars, the jewelry, the $495 sneakers, there was a secret that would tear the Ball family apart. And this would expose the $200 million scam that was known as Big Baller Brand. Let's get into this. Lonzo, LiAngelo, and LaMelo Ball, three brothers from Chino Hills, California, became a viral sensation after leading their high school to a perfect 35-0 season and a state championship in 2016. The three brothers played on the same high school basketball team, and if you look at any of their high school highlight tapes, they were really good. And this was what went viral and got people's attention around the Ball family. Clips of them dunking, LaMelo pulling a half-court shot, Lonzo flashy passes. These clips spread like wildfire. And it wasn't just basketball, it became entertainment. And their father, LaVar Ball, knew exactly what he had. And LaVar's goal was to always have all three of his sons go to the NBA. And there's clips online of him training his sons at the age of like 3 to dribble and dunk basketballs. And the sons have stated in multiple interviews that they would wake up every morning and they were forced to shoot 100 shots until they made them all. But LaVar wasn't just raising players, he was building a brand. And when the oldest son, Lonzo Ball, got drafted to the Los Angeles Lakers in 2018, LaVar's plan went into full effect. But before Lonzo Ball even touched the NBA court, LaVar, the father, told USA Today that he wanted a sneaker deal worth $1 billion for a combination of all three of his sons. And he stated, $1 billion, it has to be there. You don't even have to give it to me all up front, just give us 100 mil over 10 years. LaVar was pitching his sons to be the next legends, the next LeBron, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan. But I'm sure you can imagine, Nike literally laughed in his face. So LaVar, the father, clapped back. And this is what started the rivalry between Nike and Big Baller Brand. And this was when Big Baller Brand was born. And the early marketing was him claiming that they were fighting the system. Like you could get a chance to support this family that was going against big corporations like the NCAA, the NBA, and Nike. And in May 2017, Big Baller Brand unveiled the Z02, which was Lonzo's first signature sneaker. But the twist was it had a shocking price of $495, which with sales tax and shipping would be well over $500. And the internet exploded. YouTube videos, Instagram videos, ESPN, everybody was talking about Big Baller Brand. Some called it revolutionary, while others called it robbery. And even Shaquille O'Neal went as far as to taking it to Twitter and calling them out for their absurd prices. And LaVar fired back and said, "You're not a big baller," which was a common thing that would happen with this brand. With their clothing or with their shoes, whenever people would make remarks about the prices being ridiculously high for a very cheap quality garment or sneaker, their response was always like, "You're not a big baller," or "If you can't afford it, then, don't have it." They were pretty much preaching like this lifestyle and this image that would come with it, like it's for big ballers only. Like, I don't know, it was kind of weird. But besides the price tag, the shoes looked very, very cheap and generic. And they didn't really feature any sort of innovative technology, and they actually had like a fake looking Adidas Boost outsole. And another thing that would become one of their biggest downfalls was pre-orders. So the sneakers were sold originally through pre-orders, which usually means 2 or 3 things. The first one being that they didn't have enough money to actually go out and buy and get these shoes made. They needed the customer's money first to then make the sneakers. And the second option being that they were trying to play it safe. Instead of making these shoes and spending millions of dollars in inventory, and then if they don't sell, they would just sit. Companies sometimes do this to play it safe so that they're not stuck with a whole bunch of stuff that they can't sell. Third option would be the greedy route, which is like the shoes can never sell out if they're made for pre-order, meaning that you can leave them up for as long as you want, customers buy them, and then usually a week or a month or so later, then they're made and shipped, and then you never miss out on any money. You're basically like drop shipping the sneakers between the factory, you, and the customer. In my opinion, none of these are effective or professional, especially not for a $500 sneaker. And oh yeah, not to mention, there was a $995 version of the same sneaker if you wanted Lonzo's signature on it, which was absolutely ridiculous. But surprisingly, fans still bought it. They were trying to help this family fight against big corporations and make it big. And because of this marketing, Jay-Z and Kanye West actually publicly supported the brand. And Jay-Z publicly went on an interview and backed them and said that, everybody has to start somewhere, and Nike didn't become Nike overnight.
But that man has a vision of his own. Why wouldn't I support him?
Right.
Why wouldn't I support him? He feels like he can move culture, and his son got a big enough name and a big enough brand that they can do it.
Right.
Nike had to start somewhere.
Which I'm sure he would later regret. And Kanye West appeared later on and I guess was backing them and actually doing meetings with them about designing sneakers for the brand. The Ball family didn't just fool their customers, they also fooled celebrities. And the promotions and the little commercial that they made for this shoe, they made the shoe look like a luxury basketball sneaker with Lonzo stepping out of nice cars and playing basketball in the shoe and making the shoe look really high quality and perceive this luxury standard for them. And also what I found interesting was in the same commercial, he put the shoes on and he was running what seemed to be up a mountain or something, pretty much portraying that they were not just basketball shoes. You could also go for a long run in these shoes and be fine, which was later proven to be very false. Customers were torn. A lot of people supported them, but a lot of people thought that the shoes just looked cheap, rushed, and unfinished. But people still loved it and fans were going crazy for it. But the downfall started just as soon as it started. Lonzo, LaMelo, and the dad were spotted courtside at what appears to be a smaller basketball game, and Lonzo is wearing Jordans, and LaMelo is wearing Jordans as well, and the father, LaVar, is wearing Adidas shoes, which you would think with the shoes dropping just 2 days prior that they would be wearing and advertising them in public, but they weren't. But despite this, the father LaVar went on ESPN and bragged that Big Baller Brand had sold over 495 pairs of shoes in just a few days. But sneaker sites told a different story. The sneaker blog Nice Kicks estimated them to only have sold 263 pairs, and the LA Times did an investigation as well. They found that they only sold 356 pairs of shoes total, and this was the first time that cracks started to show, and fans kind of stopped believing this front that was being put on by the father. But still, the family pushed forward. Lonzo and LaVar were on Jimmy Kimmel, where they also unveiled the shoes on national television, as well as going on an episode of WWE Monday Night Raw, where they were wearing Big Baller Brand merchandise, and they set up little mannequins in the ring, and this was all very obviously a publicity stunt for the brand. And between the Jimmy Kimmel episode and the WWE episode, you can very obviously tell that the father is really just leading this whole brand, and it seems like the kids just don't care. They don't have an interest in the shoes, and following the hype of being in this spotlight, of being all over television and YouTube and social media, this actually landed the family a reality television show where upon the release of this, they actually debuted their second sneaker, which was the LaMelo MB1 with a price point of $395. And the reality TV show was pretty much just their life behind the scenes and also them promoting Big Baller Brand. But the sneakers that they released for LaMelo was supposed to be a big deal because he was the first high school athlete to get his own signature sneaker line. They tried to pitch it as something that would go down in history. He was the first high school kid, to get his own basketball shoe. But in reality, they were hiding something. Fans started to speculate and noticed the pattern on the sneakers was very comparable to another brand that was called Brand Black. And for those of you who don't know, Brand Black was a company founded by a former Skechers executive, and after people started really looking into the shoes, they found out that Big Baller Brand partnered with Brand Black to make these sneakers. So in May, Lonzo's first sneaker came out, and by August, they launched their second sneaker before the other ones even shipped. And then they did the unthinkable. After partnering with Brand Black, they realized that their first sneakers that they were originally going to ship out were not good. So 5 months after the launch of this $495 sneaker, they actually scrapped the design and replaced it with a new version. And as you can imagine, fans and also the media was not happy. Customers who pre-ordered the first shoe were told they'd get a new one instead or a refund if they wanted, except most customers never got either. And following this, after doing pop-ups, WWE, Jimmy Jimmy Kimmel, and then being pretty much all over the media and all over TV, LiAngelo Ball, who was playing for UCLA at the time, actually got caught stealing. So the report goes that LiAngelo Ball and two of his teammates were caught shoplifting from the Louis Vuitton store in China during an international team trip. Apparently, him and his friends had walked into the store and pocketed a few items and left, where then the following day at their hotels, Chinese police came and arrested them, where they stayed like 1 or 2 days in jail, where he later then admitted to the theft and was suspended indefinitely from the team, where then eventually LiAngelo Ball would drop out of the school of UCLA, where he signed with a Lithuanian basketball league, which pretty much crushed his chances of going to the NBA. And by late 2018, Big Baller Brand tried to rebrand, and this is when they released their Z02.19 at a retail price of $200. And this was marketed as Lonzo's second official sneaker. And the sneakers dropped in October of 2018, and February the following year, they released a statement to their customers where they said that pairs would then be delayed until May, and that those affected by the delay were offered a t-shirt. This is following the same pattern as the first sneaker, but this was just the start of the absolute chaos that would end Big Baller Brand. So, Lonzo Ball, which was on the Los Angeles Lakers, after being forced to wear his Big Baller Brand sneakers by, I'm sure, his dad, he actually suffered a severe ankle injury on January 19th during a game against the Houston Rockets. Following this, Lonzo Ball actually parts ways with Big Baller Brand and the co-founder. So, the co-owner and founder of Big Baller Brand's name was Alan Foster, which you can see in the TV show, but Lonzo accused Alan of stealing $1.5 million of his personal money. And following this, on the same day, the Lakers actually launched an investigation against Big Baller Brand, where they believed that the Big Baller Brand sneakers he was wearing were the reason of him having the ankle injury and took him out for the whole season. Lonzo told ESPN that it was not the shoes and that if they were uncomfortable, he wouldn't play in them. Many people that played basketball said that the Big Baller Brand sneakers were just too light and they didn't have good ankle support. And by March 25th, Lonzo Ball's manager actually took to social media where he threw the sneakers away publicly with the hashtag on the video that said "dump your merch." And just 2 days after this video was published, Lonzo Ball went and actually covered up his Big Baller Brand tattoo that was on his arm. But the final blow came in September of 2019 when Lonzo finally revealed the truth. He stated that the Z02s that he was playing in were not ready. He admitted this on the Lighthearted podcast that he had to switch shoes every quarter because they would rip and fall apart.
No one knows this, but Demo had a backpack and he had extra like 4 pairs of shoes in there because I had to switch them every quarter because they would just rip. I mean, that's, if I had to say like why the first 2 games, like the real truth is like, yo,
you heard
shoes
it
just wasn't ready.
The sneakers were very poor quality and couldn't even last an entire game. And this, as you can imagine, went viral across social media. And then came the lawsuits. So Alan Foster, that was accused of taking $1.5 million from Lonzo Ball and Big Baller Brand, actually countersued against LaVar Ball, the father, and claimed that he used company money to fund his lavish lifestyle, where he called him a broke man with zero business acumen. And he also allegedly claimed that they took the money from the Big Baller Brand and purchased themselves a new house. And Allen allegedly admitted that the family, while struggling to fulfill the orders for the sneakers, was purchasing this new house. And by 2020, Big Baller Brand was done. LaVar's empire was gone. The website got taken down. Actually, it didn't get taken down, but if you clicked on the Big Baller Brand website, it would redirect you to the Alan Foster guy's personal website, which was crazy. So it seems that he won the lawsuit, and the Big Baller Brand shoes now became a collector's joke. Now, they tried like a year or 2 ago to come back with these whole Big Baller Brand foam sneakers, and the father has tried to stay relevant by posting multiple videos on social media, still trying to do that whole act of like saying wild things so the media will cover it, but it just didn't work. If you look at the videos of LaMelo or Lonzo wearing these Big Baller Brand foam shoes, they very obviously don't want to be in the video, they don't care, and they don't want to be a part of it, but it seems that the father is definitely the one trying to keep this afloat, probably to fund his lifestyle. And what started as a movement, a family standing against a corporate sneaker giant, turned into a lesson of hype, greed, and overpromise. But this goes to show that Big Baller Brand wasn't just a sneaker story, it was a $200 million scam dressed up as a revolution. And for just a second, the world actually bought it. And that pretty much wraps up today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. This one took a lot of research and a lot of facts. So if you guys haven't already, make sure you drop a like, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification bell so you get notified every time I post. And I want you guys to drop a comment. Give me some video ideas of what you want me to cover or what I should cover, or maybe something that I did cover that I can make a better video about. I want you guys to let me know. I'm not just like desperate for video ideas, but I want to know what you guys want to see. I feel like my audience is kind of split between people that want like sneaker content and then also people that like this whole documentary style stuff. I personally like covering this whole like pop culture side. I love it. I love making these little documentaries. It's literally, I love it. But I want to know what you guys want. But if you guys haven't already, make sure you follow my Instagram. I post on there pretty much every day. All of the long videos that don't make it into a full YouTube video end up going on my Instagram. And it's also more personal. I share like my personal life and what I do and like where I'm traveling to and stuff like that. And yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.